The assassination of Qasem Soleimani in 2020. The assassination of Major General Qasem Soleimani, one of Iran's most powerful military leaders, on January 3, 2020 marked a major turning point in the tensions between the United States and Iran. The strike, which was carried out by a U.S. drone in Baghdad, Iraq, was seen by Iran as a direct attack on its sovereignty and led to a significant escalation in hostilities between the two countries. Qasem Soleimani was the head of Iran's Quds force, an elite branch of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, responsible for the country's foreign military operations. He was widely considered to be one of the most influential figures in Iran, playing a key role in the country's support for various military and political groups in the Middle East, including Hezbollah in Lebanon and various Shia militias in Iraq. The U.S. government, on the other hand, saw Soleimani as a major threat to its interests in the region and accused him of orchestrating numerous attacks against U.S. troops and allies, including the killing of American citizens. In the days leading up to his assassination, there were reports of increased threats against U.S. diplomats and military personnel in Iraq, which the U.S. government attributed to Soleimani and his forces. The assassination of Soleimani was met with widespread outrage in Iran and throughout the wider Muslim world. Huge crowds turned out for his funeral, and the Iranian government vowed to take revenge against the U.S. in response. In the aftermath of the strike, Iran launched a series of ballistic missile attacks against U.S. military bases in Iraq, causing some injuries but no fatalities. The assassination also sparked widespread protests in Iraq, with many Iraqis accusing the U.S. of violating their sovereignty. The attack further strained the already fragile relationships between the U.S. and Iraq, with the Iraqi parliament passing a resolution calling for the removal of U.S. troops from the country. The assassination of Soleimani was seen as a significant escalation in the long-standing tensions between the U.S. and Iran, which have been at odds since the Islamic Revolution in Iran in 1979. The U.S. and Iran have been involved in a number of proxy wars throughout the region, with each side supporting opposing factions in countries such as Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. In the aftermath of Soleimani's assassination, the U.S. and Iran appeared to be on the brink of all-out war, with both sides taking measures to prepare for conflict. However, despite the initial threats and posturing, the two countries ultimately backed down from direct military conflict, with the U.S. opting instead for a policy of increased economic and diplomatic pressure on Iran. The assassination of Soleimani was a significant moment in the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran, and its aftermath is still being felt throughout the region. While the U.S. and Iran have not yet engaged in all-out war, the threat of conflict remains a constant concern, with many experts warning that a miscalculation by either side could still lead to a larger conflict. In conclusion, the assassination of Qasem Soleimani in January 2020 marked a significant turning point in the long-standing tensions between the United States and Iran. The strike was seen as a direct attack on Iran's sovereignty and led to a significant escalation in hostilities between the two countries, with a threat of all-out war still hanging over the region. The aftermath of Soleimani's assassination continues to be felt throughout the Middle East and will likely have far-reaching consequences for years to come.